Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Middle Eastern Cultural Studies International Public Lecture 2025. We are pleased to welcome Professor Dr. Sangidu as the head of the Department of Intercultural Studies, Professor Dr. Syamsul Hadi as the former Dean of Faculty of Cultural Science, and our speaker, Professor Ayman Shihadeh from School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London. My name is Azimatul Mufida, your Master of Ceremony of today's event. Thank you for joining us. Today, we will explore an interesting and important ideas about skepticism and tolerance, a case from Premodern Islamic thought, which will be led by Professor Ayman Shihadeh. To start the event, allow me to read today's agenda. Opening by Master of Ceremony, singing Indonesia Raya and hymn Gadjah Mada. Welcoming speech from Professor Sangidu. The core of the event, the public lecture and discussion session. Documentation, giving souvenirs, and the last is closing. We have done the opening, and now, before we step into the next session, let's sing Indonesia Raya and hymn Gadjah Mada. Ladies and gentlemen, guests, please remain standing. Thank you. Please be seated. We are moving to the next event, which is welcoming speech. Please to Professor Sangidu.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ma'ali al-Ustadz Dr. Ayman Shihadeh, Ma'ali al-Ustadz Dr. Samsul Hadi, khawasatan ila al-Ustadz Dr. Ayman Shihadeh, ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikudurikum fi kuliah Ulum Athaqafiyah Jamiah Gadjah Mada al-Ariqah. On behalf of the Dean of Faculty of Cultural Sciences, I apologize to all lecturers and students, especially Professor Ayman Shihadeh, that the Dean cannot attend to deliver a speech at this public lecture because he has other activities in the same time. First of all, I would like to welcome Professor Ayman Shihadeh, Professor of Islamic Intellectual History at the School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London, in Blue Campus Universitas Gadjah Mada, especially in undergraduate of Arabic Literature Studies program and postgraduate of Middle Eastern Cultural Studies program. I would also like to thank a lot for his willingness to share his knowledge in this public lecture on skepticism and tolerance, a case from pre-modern Islamic thought. Besides that, I would like to express also my thanks to all students of Arabic Literature Studies program and Middle Eastern Cultural Studies program and all participants who have participated in this public lecture. I also to inform you all that in this room there is a senior professor, Professor Dr. Samsul Hadi, Master of Art. He is one who obtained a master degree from SOAS, University of London, in 1989 or 36 years ago. Therefore, we hope to Professor Ayman not only to give a public lecture and share his knowledge, but also to build sustainable collaboration between the Faculty of Cultural Sciences, Universitas Gadjah Mada, and SOAS, University of London, such research collaboration, providing a way for undergraduate students to continue their studies at SOAS, University of London, joint supervisor in master and PhD program, writing collaboration of article for publishing in Scopus Index journal. It is very important to increase capability for all lecturer in this faculty. Finally, I hope that the public lecture today will be run smoothly until the end. So,
Dari mahasiswa
if
yang ada di
there are
posisi dua
any
terakhir, mungkin boleh
shortcoming
pindah ke sebelah
in this
kirinya.
speech, I
Iya,
apologize and
kakak,
have a
boleh
good
dibantu
public
pindah ke sebelah kiri aja,
lecture.
nggak apa-apa, lebih depan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ya, terima kasih.
Thank you for Professor Sangidu for the welcoming speech. Now, we move on to the main session of today's public lecture on skepticism and tolerance. This discussion will be led by Mr. Tohir Mustofa MA as our moderator. Now, please welcome Mr. Tohir Mustofa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. First of all, on behalf of Middle Eastern Cultural Studies and Arabic Studies program, I would like to warmly welcome all of you today to today's guest lecture. We are very pleased to have with us Professor Shamsul Hadi, former Dean of Faculty of Cultural Sciences, who graduated from SOAS 36 years ago, and the head of Department of Intercultural Studies, Professor Sangido, and all lecturers and all students in this morning. Professor, we are truly honored to have Professor Ayman Shihadeh with us today. Thank you for coming to our faculties. Professor Ayman Shihadeh is Professor of Islamic Intellectual History at the School of Oriental and African Studies, SOAS, University of London. He holds a Doctor of Philosophy in Oriental Studies from the University of Oxford, and before joining SOAS, he taught at University of Edinburgh, University of Exeter, and University of Glasgow. He is currently a senior research fellow at the Center for Islam and Global Challenges at Universitas Islam International Indonesia at Jakarta. His research focuses on the interaction between philosophy and theology in the Premodern Islamic world, covering a wide range of subjects, including metaphysics, ethics, epistemology, and anthropology. He is especially well known for his influential studies on Fakhruddin Ar-Razi, the prominent Ash'ari theologian and philosopher. His monograph, The Teleological Ethic of Fakhruddin Ar-Razi, published in 2006, is regarded as one of landmark works that inspired a new wave of research on what we call Avicennism or post-Avicennan philosophy study. In addition to this book, Professor Ayman has published many influential articles and currently serves as editor-in-chief in the Bulletin of SOAS, one of the leading journals in the field. Today, Professor Ayman will speak on skepticism and tolerance in pre-modern Islamic thought. Skepticism can be broadly defined as an attitude of questioning or doubting claims of knowledge across different fields, although it is often discussed in the context of Western philosophy. Muslim thinkers in the pre-modern period also show a similar attitude. When it comes to non-religious subject, the skeptical attitude toward what human can truly know did not usually cause much controversy, but that was not the case for the topics closely connected with religious doctrine, such as God, angel, or life after death, especially during the period when kalam or theology became increasingly engaged with philosophy and the boundaries between the two disciplines began to blur. Perhaps the most well-known example is Abu Hamid al-Ghazali's criticism of Ibn Sina's claim about the eternity of the world, a thesis that contradicted Islamic doctrine. Al-Ghazali even went so far as to accuse those who held this view unbelief, kufr. This raises an important question, given the political and social context at that time. Where lies the boundaries of skepticism, especially when it involves questioning ideas at the very heart of religious belief? Such questions invite us to look more closely at how skepticism and tolerance were understood in the pre-modern Islamic thought, a theme that Professor Ayman will discuss with us today. Now it's my great pleasure to invite Professor Ayman Shihadeh to deliver his lecture. Please, Professor.
Thank you very much, Tohir. And I want first of all to express my gratitude to the Faculty of Cultural Sciences, the Department of Intercultural Studies, and the Middle Eastern Studies program and Arabic Studies program at Gadjah Mada University for inviting me to speak to you today. In particular, I want to thank Professor Dr. Sangidu, the head of the Department of Intercultural Studies, and Professor Dr. Shamsul Hadi, the former dean of the Faculty of Cultural Sciences, and Pak Tahir Mustofa for this invitation. This is my first time in Jakarta, and and at your university, of course. It's a beautiful city, and I've really enjoyed the visit so far, and people are very kind and hospitable. So thank you very much for everything. So the subject of my lecture will be skepticism and tolerance, with a focus on a case from pre-modern Islamic world. There's a well-established link between skepticism and tolerance nowadays in modern philosophy, let's say, and in discussions of tolerance in general these days. Often when someone is unwilling to entertain or to have any doubt concerning their convictions, their views, whether these views are religious or non-religious, they may be disinclined, they may be unwilling to be tolerant towards contrary views. So, for instance, if you believe, if you have a certain belief and you believe that your belief is 100% certain, and you have absolutely no doubt about your beliefs, then this attitude often can foster a degree of intolerance towards the beliefs of others. There are, of course, other grounds for tolerance. So this is one of the grounds for tolerance that are recognized these days in contemporary discussions of tolerance. By contrast, if someone entertains or has a degree of doubt, even very minor doubt, concerning their own views, by acknowledging that these views may be uncertain and that one could be wrong about them, this attitude can often lead to an attitude of tolerance towards those who hold contrary views. Now, in the Islamic context, we see this in this attitude, the link between tolerance and doubt. We see this in the discipline of fiqh, for instance, in Islamic law. jurisprudence or Islamic law. So the fuqaha, the jurists in the Islamic context, often recognized that their views are often not 100% certain, because they're based on interpretation of the religious texts, and they can't be 100% certain about many of their views, and that's why they are often tolerant of the views of members of other schools of fiqh, other schools of jurisprudence, of law. So we see this link between, I call it skepticism. Skepticism is a big word. No, we haven't actually got this to this slide, but skepticism is a big word. Let's call it doubt. Doubt about one's own view, and this can be minor doubt. It doesn't have to be major doubt. So this correlation between skepticism and tolerance is not true of all forms of skepticism. Yeah? So I said there's a relation between skepticism and tolerance. This is not the case in all cases, in all forms of tolerance, of skepticism. One strand of skepticism, which we find in ancient times, for instance, and is widely discussed in medieval sources, is what we may call global skepticism. So this is the extreme view that this is complete skepticism. This is not what I'm really interested in here. Extreme skepticism is the view that knowledge is impossible. All knowledge is impossible. This position tends to give rise to intolerant attitudes towards other belief systems. So if you believe that knowledge is impossible, which was and we find this view or this position in ancient times, then if you take this position, then you're likely to be intolerant to those who subscribe to or affirm certain belief systems. So extreme skepticism is often intolerance. So the link between skepticism and tolerance is really about moderate skepticism, not extreme skepticism. So this ancient skeptical position, the one that I've just described, is discussed and refuted in the works of Muslim theologians. They talk about what they call the Sufista'iyya, the sophists, who are actually skeptics. And we don't find any significant representatives of this attitude in the pre-modern Islamic context. So this is basically not the type of skepticism, the extreme skepticism. This extreme skepticism is not the type of skepticism that I'm interested in here. There's another strand, another type of ancient skepticism, which is moderate skepticism. Now, a moderate skeptic does not completely reject the possibility of knowledge. The extreme skeptic that says that it's impossible to have any knowledge about anything, even my own existence or the existence of the world. We don't really know for certain that these things exist. So that's extreme skepticism. A modern skeptic does not completely reject the possibility of knowledge, but restricts it. Yeah, so the scope of knowledge is relatively limited. So according to a moderate skeptic, knowledge is not impossible, but very difficult. It's not impossible, but difficult, or very difficult. And it's difficult. It may be difficult in some subjects, or more difficult in some subjects than in other subjects. And in medieval times, in pre-modern times, in the Muslim context and even the European context, knowledge was understood to be certain beliefs. So if you have doubt about something, then it's not knowledge. That's below the standard of knowledge. So, for instance, I know that I exist. I'm certain that I exist. That's knowledge, according to the theologians and pre-modern Muslim theologians and philosophers. But I can be, let's say, will it rain today in Jakarta? I don't know. It may rain today. So I think there's an 80% possibility that it will rain today. So that's not knowledge. That's probable belief. So knowledge has to be certain. Yeah. So we may have knowledge in some areas. So in some subjects, but in other subjects, according to moderate skeptics, we can only have probable beliefs. Only have probable beliefs in some subjects, and this, in modern thinking, in modern philosophy or modern philosophy, let's say, and this is not skepticism. This is basically scientific thinking, but in pre-modern times, knowledge was defined, as I said, as certain belief, and therefore, to say that you have to accept only probable beliefs in some subjects is actually considered a form of skepticism. And this is the type of skepticism that I'm interested in here in this talk. Okay. Now, as I said, nowadays we wouldn't call this skepticism because it's, as I said, it's taken for granted in modern science that most of our knowledge is not certain. It's probable. So the definition of knowledge in modern times is different. But in pre-modern times, it was considered skepticism. So I said that the link between doubt and tolerance can be seen in fiqh, at least in the theory of fiqh. The practice is different. I mean, we all have, we read stories about Shafi'is and Hanafis in, certain times and places in Islamic history where they were very intolerant of each other, and other schools of fiqh. But in theory, at least, in principle, they were meant to be tolerant of each other because they couldn't be 100% sure of their views, that their views are correct and that the views of others are incorrect, or maybe incorrect. So, okay, so this was quite a standard view in fiqh, but in kalam, in theology, expressions of self-doubt are hard to come by. They're very rare in pre-modern Islamic theology. So you see the fuqaha saying that this is my view, the view I take, but I'm not 100% sure about it. You don't see theologians saying the same thing. You very rarely see that in theology or kalam. And that's because in theology, nothing short of certainty, yaqeen, is acceptable, at least as far as the core doctrines is concerned. So, I don't know if, even nowadays when theology is taught, usul ad-din, is taught in this way. I don't know, some of you may have studied, this tradition at when you were young, for instance. So, for instance, of course, something like the belief that the God exists. Yeah, I mean, theologians would say that we have to be certain about this. We can't say God probably exists. No, God certainly exists. God is the creator, Khaliq of the world, for instance. We have to be certain about this. If you have any doubt about these doctrines, then your iman, your status as a believer, as a mu'min, may be in doubt. So you have to have yaqeen about these doctrines. And as I said, yaqeen is really central to belief, to iman. So to be a believer, one must hold to a set of doctrines as and hold them as certain. They have to be knowledge, ilm. And one must have no doubt, no shak about any of them, any of these doctrines of God. Theologians would tell you that your iman is not complete, yeah, or not sound. And in fact, those who cast doubt about these doctrines will often be denounced as unbelievers, as kufr. Yeah, so to raise doubt about these doctrines for pre-modern theology will be seen as tantamount